Another question I want to ask that's kind of economic and political both is about BRICS.
Yeah. That's a good topic. Yes, please.
Yes. So I think there's this perception among, I think I've even seen among many Americans on social media that, BRICS is going to be taking over, like the dollar's days are numbered, America's days are numbered, and BRICS is going to be the next thing. How does India see BRICS? Because this is a situation where India and China are both in BRICS together. It's just recently expanded into a lot of other countries. How does India see where is BRICS going?
Okay, India and China are not just in BRICS, they're in several other organizations together, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So you see, when it comes to BRICS, BRICS started as some kind of for these countries to ensure that the economic exchanges are basically trade and all. It's easy, facilitation of trade and all with the four countries. World was a simpler place perhaps at that time. But over time, everything has gone totally haywire. You see, if Russia and China had their way, they would have made, and in fact they have been trying and they are still trying to make BRICS into an anti-American body. But India knows very well that when there is BRICS and when anybody that is led by China, anybody where China is, China will ultimately take control of it. Now, India, I would say, is the power that is standing against China inside that body to ensure, because you see, it is being able to attract a lot of countries. Now, there are various reasons why that is happening, and it is not just because of China, because China is seen to have deep pockets. Many countries are coming even because India is there, because India also has a very good reputation among these countries. So when you are looking at BRICS, India is the country that is stopping BRICS from sliding into the Chinese sphere of influence, number one. India is the country. Now, I suddenly hear that, the Americans have ensured that the BRICS currency does not come into existence. Not really. India, right from day one, there was this push by both China and Russia that we should have a BRICS currency. In fact, the propaganda went to the level of basically saying that, in the last Kazan summit that was happening, there was a lot of propaganda in certain quarters saying that, yes, a BRICS currency is coming out. But our foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, has been very clear from different platforms. The question does not arise of a BRICS currency. What we are looking at, yes, what happens if, for example, Russia, the trade with dollar with Russia was becoming a problem. So we had to trade, but we were we also have to look after our own interest. China was insisting that Russia should trade with us with yuan. But we were like, no, we want to trade with rupee, with our money. So, but then what happened? Because Russia is so much under China's influence, we had to do some trade in yuan. So as a result of it, it was basically China that was benefiting. There is no way, as long as India is in BRICS, there's no way that there's going to be a BRICS currency. India has been very clear about it right from day one. But yes, what will happen in certain cases? Everybody wants to make their own currency stronger. Maybe some local deals will happen. Nothing beyond that. I think we have been, when you're talking about de-dollarizing the world and all, well, of course, that is part of China's agenda. India has no such agenda whatsoever. India wants to prosper, simple as that. It's nothing more than that. But yes, at the same time, when you are looking at the global south, why these countries are joining, say, for example, a country like Iran has its own compulsions. Why it will be joining. And the thing is that, in fact, Kazan declaration, if you look at Kazan declaration of last year, that is the BRICS declaration came after the meeting. Now, it had many problematic declarations. Many problematic declarations. For example, India is very close friend and ally of Israel. So there were horrendous things said about Israel in that, and that was Iran kind of induced. And there was lots of things that had been, they were talking about democracy. Neither is Russia a democracy, neither is China a democracy. So when I asked around and I was talking to Indian diplomats that, how did you guys let such a horrible document pass? They were like, anybody can say anything on paper. You have to see what it happens and substantially what is happening. Not one thing, all the kind of, I would say, a lot of stuff that has been said, they don't matter. And as I said again, there is no Brics currency.
Well, I mean, it would be insane to have a Brics currency because look at what's happened to the European Union. They have a shared currency. But when you have an economic crisis in one country like Greece, because the people there don't pay a lot of taxes, they go bankrupt. But none of the countries control monetary policy. They only control their own fiscal policy. So they can't inflate their way out of problems by printing money, which is one of the great things about America, by the way. Imagine now a Brics currency dominated by like Russia and China, where they get to control how much currency gets printed, right? Like they could really screw India.
First of all, Russia, we don't take that into consideration because Russia is half of India's economic size, or perhaps even less. It is China. China will not do anything about it's only China, nothing else but China. There will be only one person that will be controlling the Brics currency, that is China. Right. There will be only one country that is controlling Russia, that is China. You see, so it is all about China.
So they'd be like the Germany.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And if they have that kind of power, that's what I'm saying. India is the only country, and I think even Brazil for that matter. But even I just heard that Brazil and China, China is now the largest trading partner of Brazil, and they are pretty happy with it because they, in some, this part of the world which is not connected to the rest of the world. But the thing is that, so I'm saying, once it is China is going to control everything, and they are going to wreck. They are going to determine each and every policy, and you are right. China will just ensure that everybody is wrecked.
So does China want India to leave Brics?
Unlikely right now, because you see, even if they want, India is not a pushover. That is one thing. It's not going to happen. Just as there is not going to be any de-dollarization, just as there is no Brics currency, China can also not push out India out of Brics.
What does India get from being in Brics?
First of all, as I said, when it comes to Brics in particular, there are certain platforms. As I said, the world is not just about big powers. India is the world is also about smaller countries, smaller nations. And India, at one level, if you look at the world geopolitics, what happens is that there are many countries in the world who do not want to get into this US versus China game. They want to be in a place where it is quieter, saner, where their voices can be carried. And you see, Brics is a platform where India takes care of a lot of these smaller countries, and through the development banks, this, that, whole lot of things, issues. And now that more and more countries are trying to join, one of the reasons is that India is, quote unquote, is a much softer power, but not, don't take it in terms of military hardware, because India is a very hard power that way. But India is a much softer power when it comes to any power games in the world. And India is also seen as a country which can bring to the table the voice of the unrepresented. If I remember correctly, I think one of the Pacific Islands Mr. Modi had gone to, I think last year, something like that. Now there the Prime Minister came and touched his feet, which is considered to be a huge giving respect to an elder for us in our culture. He touched his feet, and he kept on saying that we do not want to we are going to die if we get stuck inside this, this power games that are going on. So you are the only person, you are the only country that can take our voice. You can represent us and ensure our interest is maintained, ensure that our interest is we do not get hurt, and you are our representative.
Thank you for watching this short interview clip with Joyita. There's loads more, and her insight into what's going on between China, India, and the U.S. is incredible. So check out the full hour by going to our website, ChinaUncensored.tv. The link is below.